5 Nuno licks you can actually play coming right up. So if you're like me, you've probably had those days where you sit down and you're like, today is the day where I'm going to learn an extreme song. And you get, I don't know, a minute and a half through the song. You're like, yeah, I got this. And then the brick wall comes. You know, it seems like in every extreme song, Nuno throws in one supernatural, technical insanity that is just impossible to pull off. I used to think like, oh, he's just hammering that on. It's like, no, he's picking it, because you see the live DVD and DVD, kids, that's digital video disc. You see the live DVD and he's picking it effortlessly. He just doesn't care. It's simple for him. So I figured, let's find 5 licks we can play, and even that is questionable. So let's move on. Let's move on to the licks. But first, I've got let me tell you what I'm plugged into. I've got my Cali plugging into a Proco Rat distortion pedal, Nuno style, into an ADA MP1, Pornograffitti era Nuno style, and then I'm going directly into the 2 Notes Cab M, which is this little guy right here, the Torpedo Cab M, which is this little guy right here, the Torpedo Cab M. It has a power amp simulator, and it's a cab simulator. Not a load box, so you can't just jam an amp in there and be off to the races. But for preamps, it's pretty amazing. I just got the preamp straight into the Cab M. It's a really rewarding sound, and it's pretty close to Nuno, so good times. Good times. To the licks. Lick number 1 is from Decadent Stance. That's a tapping lick that Nuno just casually throws in the middle of a verse to get from one place to the next. It's all based in A, and it's all based around the A minor pentatonic. So we know this shape. All right, so it's downstairs neighbor over here, or maybe upstairs neighbor, is this shape. And an octave up puts it up here. So he's just tapping that A minor pentatonic shape up here and then down here. The pattern is very Van Halen-y. It's the eruption. So you tap, it goes to the lowest finger, and then you hammer on with the next finger. So we're just following that shape up. And on the right hand, he's drawing that shape. So he's tapping once, hammer, hammer, going to the next fret of the minor pentatonic. Slowly, it's this. But you have to do that all the while you're holding down an amazing groove. Easy for him. Lick number 2 comes from It's a Monster. This actually is also a lick that Nuno plays on Get the Funk Out. It's I'm going to call it a major pentatonic. The shape is falling in the E minor pentatonic, but it's really over a G, and those are the related. She starts it with like a bend. Whew, it's an endurance test. I could only get it going so fast. I don't think I could get it as fast as he does. And those notes are 12th fret on the E string, 15th fret B string, back to the 12th fret on the B string, and the 15th fret on the G string. Pick, pick, pull off, pick. That little pull off gives your hand just enough time so that the lactic acid doesn't entirely build up and you could keep it going. One of the tricks with this is you want to make sure you're not jumping with this first finger. You don't want to go finger with big, high walking fingers. You want to flatten that first finger across and do your best to mute the strings, but it's going so fast it doesn't really matter. But if you hold those down, it'll help you out. Lick number 3 is based on money. It's something like this. What I'm talking about is the sixths. The sixth, the way you would get there is if you find your major scale or minor scale and you just count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. 6. But up higher, it sounds real cool like. I'm guessing that Nuno got this from Joe Perry. I know he's a big Aerosmith dude, and that's a big Aerosmithy kind of... The easiest way to look at this is he's taken an A7 chord, uses a lot of 7th chords on Pornograffitti. But there's a nicely located 6th interval right there, and he just moves it up an octave. So the A7 chord is open A string, 2nd fret on the D string, open G, and 2nd fret on the B string. Slide those up to the 14th fret. And then you could also throw in the little descending. So I hybrid picked that, so I picked the top with the my middle finger. All right, lick number 4. This might be a little tough for some people. It's the tapping lick from Get the Funk Out. So we're going to stop there. We're not going to go through the whole thing because it actually gets a little trickier. But this is a really clever way of just drawing out a chord. It's based on a B-flat major chord. And he's just drawing out the arpeggio just really clearly. He does throw in a little 9th for the right in the beginning. So starting with your tapping finger on the 15th fret on the D string, going to the 8th fret on the D string, and then your pinky will hit the 10th fret on the D string. And that's how it starts. Starts with the tap, which is a nice and convenient way to start off. Pulling off, hammer on that 10th. I'm saying use the pinky because when you get up higher, you're not going to be using these just the 3 fingers. And holding this pinky in this zone makes the lick a lot easier to play because you have this 10th fret anchor across. You don't have to shift that position. So back to this 15th fret tap. We're going to jump to the next string, the G string. 15, 7, and 10. Again. So even there you have a cool lick. But he keeps going. And he changes the rhythm a little bit to fit it into the meter, but he jumps over the B string, because that's what he does, and goes up to the F, that 13th fret on the high E string. So you're tapping that, pulling off to the 6th fret on the high E string, hammering on the 10th. And the pattern goes like this. And you hear harmonically, it almost sounds like piano exercises, like those childlike... Very, very simple, but super effective when you get the rolling pattern going. So he does come back down. You go up. You're going to have to hammer on out of nowhere with your pinky onto the G string, that 10th fret. So that's a toughie. And then you will be tapping the 5th fret on the D string. It gets tricky. I'm going to tab this so you can see it. So that last bit, that's how I hear it off the record. It taps, releases to the 10th fret, taps again, then to the 8th, back to the 10th. And that's so you could get this rolling pattern. Oof. So on the tapping hand, the pattern is... And then he shifts from the B flat to the C and does the exact same thing up there. So we just shifted it up 2 frets. Yeah. And then good luck with the rest. All right, lick number 5 of Nuno licks you can play. Or can you? Can we play this one? I actually can't. The lick is another one of those just random fills in It's a Monster that he just throws in like, you know, it's a fill. But for anyone else, that would be their whole solo because they would have spent all year trying to pull this off. I can't play it up speed, so I'm just going to play it at dad speed, which is like 72%. Yeah, not nearly as close as he plays it. I could almost hammer on it as fast. I would never try to throw that in the middle of a song because I would never nail it live. It would be impossible, but he does every time. Insane. So let me show you what it is. He's basically just spelling out this F chord while he's waiting to come back to the G, which is what the key of the song is. So he does this a lot where he'll just play a major scale over the chord, which is kind of nice. It's essentially just an F major scale. And that goes starting on the low string. We're going to start on the 1st fret. Starting on that F, 1, 3, 5. Going to the A string, starting 1, 3, 5. 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, 5. 3, 5, 6. 3, 5, 6. And now this is where he repeats. So he makes it all the way up. Come back to that B string, moving up the scale. 5, 6, 8. Say it together. So part of the trick of this is you got to really mute. You got to shove the palm of your hand on those strings hard. That'll keep it from ringing out like you just heard, and it'll give you that cool. It's an awesome lick, and you could put that on any scale. So you could steal Nuno's stuff all over the place, which you could do worse, certainly. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you got a cool lick out of this, and we'll see you soon. Be well.